So this is how you fake it till you make it in your next job interview. I want to introduce you to a really important concept, which is the perception of competence. Because in an interview, you can't truly show how competent you are, because truly the only way you can show that you're competent is by doing the job. But therefore you have to create this mirage, this perception that you are competent. And this is why sometimes the people who are the best person or the best people for the job actually don't get the job, because the other people who are less capable are able to create a better perception of competence. So how do we do this? The first is language. You've got to use good vocabulary. You've got to use a high-level vocabulary. Think about a politician. We know that they're incompetent. We know that they're not very good at their job. But how do they keep getting away with it? It's because of the language that they use. So we need to use powerful language such as empathy, empowerment, engagement, essential, critical, imperative. Imagine weaving that language into the way that you speak. You could be saying something not particularly interesting or exciting, but as soon as you start using that language, all of a sudden they'll be like, wow, this person, just because you're using these words, probably is competent. Hence, you've created a perception of competence. Secondly, is to pause, the power of pausing. So if you're asked a question, you don't rush in, you take your time. You pause for 3 seconds and then you speak. Why is that powerful? Because it shows that you're in control. It shows that you're calm under pressure. Again, creating the perception of competence. And the third is managing upwards. It's not being afraid to challenge the interviewer, of course, in a polite way. So if an interviewer says, I think some of the biggest challenges that we currently face is in X, Y, Z, what will you do about that? Instead of responding saying, yes, I do believe these are the biggest challenges, you can instead say, well, I can see that these are some of the challenges. However, for me, the biggest challenge is actually X instead of this. And what you've done there in a very nice way, managed upwards and showed them that you're somebody who isn't afraid to have their own opinion, who isn't afraid to have a different point of view. And of course, if you're using great words, if you're pausing and are stoic when you speak and nice and calm, it's going to create a combination of all three. It's going to create, again, that perception of competence. Why don't you give it a go in your next interview?